I think they already finished.
No,
Yeah,
it's done. Yeah.
yeah, they finished 20 minutes ago or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see this, and we should be live in a second, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I should have been eating too. I think just
Come on, man.
yeah, and we should be talking like Michael will never beat me.
Never beat me.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Oh my God. I'm so good. I'm
You,
so good, man.
you look younger.
People have been saying that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm supposed to be actually probably like 6 or 7 years younger. Seriously. Yeah.
You know that episode of South Park where I forgot the guy that plays Superman, he was sucking stem cells.
All right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's me. They work, man. They work.
So what was the house? Can you explain the house? I saw everyone was there and I was like, I was in Dubai, but I would love to be in Dubai. I would just want to see if I can get any younger.
Yeah, right. You don't need to get any younger at all. If you get any younger, I don't know what will happen. So there was an invitational. Yeah, they're so cool. They just they got a bunch of arm wrestlers and they got a bunch of fighters.
Okay.
And they did basically like a few days of like healing therapies with us, stem cells, all sorts of stuff. There was a health clinic there, and yeah, like every day we do like different modalities. Yeah, that's it. It was the main part is the stem cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get like I saw Artem was there. He did like a bunch of different treatments as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The big boy was also there.
Yeah. Right.
So you guys you pulled it right arm, right? It's just
No, we didn't. We didn't.
like 2 minutes in, we're starting with lies, Devon.
We didn't.
How
No.
bad is his arm? Because people are like they still don't understand. Like last time he pulled was at the start of the year. It was what it was, January, February. It was February, right?
Yeah. He told me he's resting.
Okay.
I think he's probably still like ridiculous, but yeah, he has an injury for sure that hopefully this therapy will help him with, and get him back to where he's able to move forward again. But yeah, he's definitely on pause, but he got his right and his left treated, both of them.
Well,
Yeah, so he should be on his way back forward. He told me that he is going to start training again after November the 11th.
okay.
So he's going to.
He's coming also, right, to the event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he'll be there, and then once he knows his opponent, that's when he's going to start to train again.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Most likely either January or February, something like that, right? Could be.
I would hope, yeah. I would hope it would be soon, yeah.
That's
yeah.
I like that. So with left arm, it looked like as much as you tried to get on his like fingers, but he just had so much back pressure that it just you couldn't get anything.
He's awesome. He is awesome. Now I'll tell you, like, don't take a ton from a practice video. Don't do it. Like, I was at that table for probably 15 minutes. Okay.
But that's 15 minutes of warm-up for you.
My left gets gassed. My right doesn't
I
really
know.
get gassed.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, like Levan is incredible, and I probably would have him probably if he's not one, is he two? Is he three? If somebody said that Levan is not in the top five, I would be like, no, you're crazy. If he's not number one, he's number two, three, four. You know, even in an untrained state, like he's still got it. Like, and an untrained, injured state.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is his injury? Is it something in shoulder?
Yeah, I think he has two injuries. The major injury is he's got something with his wrist. Okay.
Mm.
So one of the I don't want to get it wrong. Okay. So understand when I'm telling you this, like don't
Yeah,
put a ton into it, but I think of your flexor tendons,
yeah.
I think it's the highest one. The
Okay.
highest one, like the one closest to your thumb that's a flexor. I think it's that one, or maybe it's the one next to it.
Mm.
I think it's got a partial tear.
Okay.
Okay. So to
It's
some
been
degree,
such a long time, like five
yeah,
years.
right. So it's an
Yeah.
old injury, but he got something there. Okay. And I think he's got something in his shoulder also.
Yeah, because he was touching his shoulder like all the
Yeah.
time. Like he hasn't like I've seen him pull a little bit on some practices right in Georgia, but I'm like I don't know what's the problem because he could be the man, right? And I
Oh
think
yeah.
most likely he is the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely he is the man.
Yeah.
I don't want to say for sure because there are a lot of bad dudes out there. I mean, I think Vitaly is super dangerous right now. That I actually think that Vitaly is probably I think Vitaly's number one.
Mm.
And who knows where Denis will be when Denis decides to train and get back to.
Mm. Isn't he training to pull some Canadian guy?
Yeah, yeah. What are we? 5.5 weeks.
5.5 weeks.
It's like happening. It's happening. It's like right now. It's like we are so close to that date.
We
Look at
just
this.
saw
Look
what
at this.
is it stem shake? It's
Yeah,
stem shake. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you just squeezed it out before.
They look. It's all chunky still. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get demonetized for this, definitely. Yeah. Um, we just saw one match that was 90 years in making. John versus Voivoda, and we all got that wrong. John was awesome, right?
I feel like such an idiot.
But
So
we both saw the videos. Or I think we just over arrested, like because we saw, like I saw the videos where he was just called him Morozo, right?
here's the factors. Okay. Yeah. Right. Right. So videos of him like playing with Morozov. I mean, people say, "Oh, gym lifts don't count." Yes, they count.
Yeah,
When
and he was
when you're doing
lifting
arm
crazy weights. Yeah, crazy weights.
crazy, I'm like, I don't even understand how you can lose lifting those weights. Like, if you're lifting 200 pounds like this, you don't even have to know how to arm wrestle. Just put a strap on and go like this. Like, anyways, and then I saw John recently lose to Todd Hutchings, and I was like, I gave it a 0. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, there's no way. Pleasantly surprised, very, very happy. It was so funny. Like round one, my phone rings. It's Engen. And he's just looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, you're right.
After the first one, like I like
Oh yeah.
with the slip, I was like, oh,
Yeah. Even in the
right,
setup,
yeah.
even the way they were grabbing each other, I was like, oh,
I,
this is looking good. It's looking
you know how
good.
John is. Like, there's not a lot of matches that he brings attitude to them, right? And I think this was because everyone saw the movie. And so for 20 years, everyone is saying, like, this guy might be the best ever, right? Something like that. Or, this guy just and John was like, I'll show you. And that was different John. Like I saw him in person. That was completely different John. It was weird. It was very weird. Like I think if he gets motivated, he's insane. Like the lifts are nowhere near what Voivod, or zero compared to Voivod, right? But
Zero.
still, everything took everything, and
Everything.
very interesting that Voivoda didn't have any other options. Like he was trying just one thing, right? He didn't switch up. He didn't try, and he said he had elbow problems. Everyone has elbow problems, right? Right. And I thought
Yeah.
that maybe he like, but it was still one. It's very hard to get back in the game, right? So last match 2016. It's so hard to get back in the game. And I'm going to continue this because you're facing another guy that just has had one match coming back, that was against John Brzenk. And someone, when I made a video about you and Denis, someone told me, yeah, but Denis beat John way easier. I'm like, did you watch the same match we were watching? Right.
Mm.
So how do you feel about this? Because I think it's a similar situation, because 2018, he beat you with left arm really, really bad. And people are looking at like it is both arms, and doesn't even matter if it would be right arm or something. And they're looking at it like it's the same match. Is it?
Well, no. I mean, obviously, a ton has changed. A ton has changed. We'll go back, talk about the John and Denis match in and what I thought was going on was it's very hard for me to assess how hard Denis is trying. Like when I watch Denis in both training and in competition, I have a very hard time deciphering how hard he is actually working. I never got a sense that he was in any trouble whatsoever. Like I never saw him kind of go to a place where he was worried or throwing his body around or forcing anything. He wasn't able to just, well, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know what he was or wasn't able to do. All I kind of take away from that match is with John, he was never in trouble. And he didn't have, like, I mean, when I arm wrestle people, I really try and destroy them, right? And I don't think that Denis did that at all. Like Denis wasn't there to destroy John. Denis was there to kind of like, be nice to John, it seemed like. So, who did better with John? I mean, you can say in round one that actually, when I pulled John, I was on the defensive round one. And then after that, it was over. Whereas Denis was always on the positive side of the table. So it's hard to say, I mean, in terms of who's moved forward more over the last 5 years, well, that can't even really be talked about. Like, I don't think that this is the part where I clearly in the last 5 years have taken tons of steps. And a lot of people are talking about where is Denis compared to what he was. And that is a debatable answer. You can say he's visibly smaller. You can say he may be, you can also say now he's much more specialized. Now he only trains his right arm. Where do you actually put him compared to his previous form? It's debatable. It's debatable. Like, I think that most people would agree he's probably not at his best. But, if you want to be cautious and if you want to be, if you want to be ready, you can think this dude hasn't lost much where it matters. And he's dialed in on arm wrestling more specifically, perhaps, than he was in the past. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to watch him train. I'm glad they're uploading training videos just to kind of get a bit of a read on where he's at. Not that, people upload, what's actually going on half the time, but looks like he's doing some strength training, and then he follows it up with table time, and he's got a good couple guys. He's got a good 2 or 3 regular training partners, David Daddycan, that Valera dude, and a couple odds and ends that are able to give him a good workout. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm super excited. I'm very good right now. I think. I think I'm very good. We'll see. We'll see in 5.5 weeks what I can bring.
Bring those stem cells. Yeah, I think you are very good is an understatement for sure. I think, do you think this is probably your best, or have you felt better?
This is probably it, man. It's weird, like it's probably you can talk about 2008 when I beat John. I was 33. I was young, pre-surgery, faster. When you're young, Ray. How old are you, Ray?
17.
Right?
I'm 33.
Right. So that's how old I was when I beat John. Okay. And everything was working great. Okay. All my moves. I did have a few injuries, but they didn't affect me. I was very strong, very fast, now I'll tell you, since then, I know I'm a better technician. I am, for sure. I'm a better technician now than I was. And now I'm stronger too. So I think I'm better now. I think right now I'm the best I've ever been, because it's like I've got my health back. I have all this experience, and the way I think I've learned so much over the years, and I've just never stopped. And yeah, I think that guy, I might actually even shut him down in the setup, or I would handle him probably from center. Probably. I mean, he might get me into endurance problems, but yeah.
I think with right arm, you don't lack any problems with endurance. I think
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, I think right now at this stage in my career, I would say it's very likely that I'm the best shape that I've ever been for right-handed arm wrestling. Yeah.
I just remember, because we were sitting we had some great conversations in Germany. We're sitting and we were talking, and we talked about hook and top roll, and I said, like, how back pressure is more important at the top, and you said, yeah, there's no real point in doing hook. And then you had match versus Gennady, and you're like, damn, I need some hook.
Yeah. Total wake-up call. Gennady was it's interesting, how you get very influenced by, I always tell people, the most important, you want to learn how to arm wrestle, structure your growth a certain way, where the most important part of your growth, the most important thing, is competition. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get better at competition. So you have to have regular competition. Competition is your teacher. That's your number one teacher, is what happens in competition. All the lessons that you learn from the ready goes, for the high stakes, for the no bullshit, just that's the truth. Competition. And from there, you take all your lessons and you disseminate it into your training, which is, your table practice and your weightlifting and lifestyle, whatever. And, the more important the match, the more important the lesson, so, if you go off to a local tournament and you do well or do bad, and, okay, that's a lesson. But if you go to like a world championship or a title shot, this lesson is more important. The things you learn there are more important. And so much of my truth, I'll say, has come from the very highest levels. Okay. Like Levan. Okay. When I pulled Levan, I'm like, okay, the most important piece is this. And it was so clear to me. It's like, if you can't get this, you're fucked. And that's where, I started to just cut everything. And I'm just like, rise and roll. This is what's going to win you the match. And then I stuck with that for a long time. And then, and I think a lot, and you saw all the big wins all around the world were happening with floppers press. Lots of high level matches were being decided by the flop
for like 3 months, like insane.
Yeah. Like everybody's flopping for the win. And it's like, man, I'm like, there is a shift going on. I think because I think the sport we all kind of evolved together, and I think that there's kind of this flow between inside and outside, and the high hand and the roll, that's never going away. But this trump card of shoulder commitment it forces you to have inside game. It forces it. So yeah, since Gennady, I've done a ton. Like as soon as I lost to Gennady, through Dave, through Hermes, I did lots of inside work, and I still am. I'm doing lots of inside work. Yeah, I still think this is the most important thing. All this stuff, but you better have an inside game. If the guy knows how to arm wrestle and he can bring his shoulder forward, and a lot of guys can, you better have it. You better have it.
Yeah, it was weird seeing you kind of gassing out in that position, just because you were like I don't think you arm wrestled in that position for quite some time. You're always kind of open more, right? On back pressure, rise and roll. And our opponents, like you said, like if it's a final match, doesn't matter the tournament, and then you lose in a tough match, that's the best teacher, right? You're like, okay, I almost beat him. Let me learn my lessons here, right? It doesn't matter, but people go out and compete if you want to be better at arm wrestling, right?
Yeah. Number one thing you got to do. Number one thing you got to put the theories to test. Yeah.
And then you'll figure everything out. Everything will come to you, right? You will understand where your strengths, where your weaknesses, and everyone always asks me like, what's my technique? What's the best technique? I'm like, what should I focus on more? Whatever makes you win more matches, that's what you should be focusing on, right? And everything else, like keep adapting to win more matches where you're losing, right? But I wanted to ask, Denis, and I think you have looked at him for years. When was the first time when this match was even in the talks? Was it 2008?
Oh my God.
Or even before?
No, I think it was after 2008. Yeah. Well, that's a long time ago. So I remember around that time period, there was Engen was running the rankings, right? John was number one. So he was the big target. And, I managed to secure that match with them. I got the victory. And I remember Denis was still kind of green. Like Denis in 2008 he wasn't his best. Like he was still, like, as an arm wrestler, pretty raw. I remember there was that crazy match where he kind of first popped on the scene, where he's pulling Pushkar left-handed and he's just looking at him. And it's like, what is this? Like,
not who, but what?
Where did this thing come from? And it's like, okay, this is a different level of species right here. But I remember, I think it was very shortly afterwards. Like, I think it was maybe even weeks, maybe it was a month, but John went to Zloty and John beat Denis at that point, I think, in the overalls. I think it was 2008. I think it was I don't know when Nemiroff was, if it was October, because I think that I beat John in September, and I think it was whether it's October, maybe it was even November. But so he beat him shortly after I beat John. So I was like, okay, maybe he's not quite. But all the talk started happening, because shortly after that, I think 2009, 2010, Denis got everything together, and Denis was really good, right? So Denis was basically cleaning up everybody at the Nemiroffs and everything over in Europe. There was a bunch of proposals, never worked. I had surgery. I went down to 225. The match kind of fell off. But there was a good strong period, probably from about 2009 till 2012, where we were actively trying to get that match to happen. And they kind of wanted me to go to Nemiroff. They kind of wanted me to show up at the tournament. and I wanted to do a one-on-one. And I didn't really want to go to Nemiroff, and they didn't really want to do a one-on-one. So it never happened. And then 2018, I got it written in my contract. I can pull Denis at any point, anytime. They insisted on a left-handed match, and I was just like, okay, whatever. Yeah, let's do it. And I tried to sub in last second after, to get in right-handed. That was declined. I think I'm going to beat him, Ray. I don't know. It's going to be close. It's going to be hard. He's not Hermes. He's not. Denis is something very special. He's probably the most mesomorphic human that I know, that I've seen. I don't think there is a more mesomorphic expressed human being on the planet. I've never seen him. I've seen a lot of people in strongman and powerlifting and arm wrestling. I've never seen a guy with a bone structure like Denis. I've never seen it. I've never seen the finger thickness. I've never seen the overall thickness of skeleton in any sport.
He is very, very different and very special, in my opinion. And I think I don't see that like Denis isn't the fastest one, right? And I think this match will be literally both of you opened up and trying to take each other's hands. I think that's how I see it, right? And because he been arm wrestling similarly like you, but if I have to like pick a technique, right? You are working with your pronator, and he is more reliant on his hand and bicep. So he kind of gives up his pronator. Now he's doing better, but only when he's on A side. On the B side, you can see him doing this. But then I have seen him like later, he pulls the same guy and kind of warms up, and then he can have it. His endurance is pretty good, especially in those positions, right? Do you see it the same way? Do you see it close to being double kings? Because there's a good chance there's going to be double
100%,
kings.
100%. He's definitely, his predominant style in training seems to be open top. Open top, and then he does kind of a weird kind of press. It's not what I would call a traditional press. It's kind of like he does this kind of weird kind of thing that's, I would say it's a press, but it doesn't look traditional. But yeah, he's open topping. I'm like, I don't even want to say that I'm an open top roller right now, but I certainly do like the move. I can see us both going there. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I think there's a very high likelihood we both find ourselves, but that move won't win it. It's going to be who can stand up, who can transition, who can regrip. Yeah.
Because it's for me, it's very hard to see you going inside with him, right? He's so rigid, and he's like, I think he protects very good even when he's open, right? He kind of lays down on his side, so he's always like this, right? Even here. So as soon as you go inside, you are on his inside.
Probably.
But also, I see for him to be very hard to top roll you because you have long lever. So this is the match I'm seeing. This is the match I'm seeing, and then I'm seeing whoever will pull more of this. Yeah,
I think so. Very high likelihood, especially round one, that we're both kind of fiddling around up top.
Yes. Yeah.
He's strong.
Yeah.
He's very strong.
I think he's strong. The cup will be good. Yeah, I feel like you are at your strongest, and like the match with Hermes impressed me a lot. Like you were not supposed to win that one. You came in lighter. You were like, kind of all week. You were looking different than you usually do, and I was like, this is kind of weird. But then you took away as soon as that strap is applied, it's game over, right? And that was did something surprise you about that match, or did you think like I know we talked with Matt about holes in Hermes's game, and you exposed them pretty well, right?
Yeah. I was definitely surprised. I thought if I was going to win, it was going to be real sloppy, real ugly. I wasn't anticipating it to be like that. But there were whispers, going into the match that Hermes has problems with tall top rollers. There were, and all the guys I talked to who had beat him, they were like, "Yeah, this is how you do it." And uh, the thing is with Hermes, I'm going to say that I do believe that Hermes does have a wrist issue. I do think he does. I mean, we saw it, right? You know,
Yeah.
right? Like the thing is, a lot of guys in arm wrestling, they'll lose their wrist, but they can still use it. Okay, so I'll lose my wrist arm wrestling, but I'm still using it somehow in a partially compromised position.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that Hermes, when he gets to a certain position, the wrist just shuts down.
Mhm.
I think. I don't know. That was my initial assessment of the whole thing. Like, so if you have the positional ability to put him in a place where his wrist doesn't get to, I think Hermes in positive positions, ridiculous, ridiculous. But if you can get his wrist out of position, it almost negates all of his strength. He doesn't have, and I don't want to say he doesn't have, it just, in my initial observations from that singular match, I think that he was not able to use his wrist when it was taken, and a lot of guys do. Like a lot of guys, when they have their wrist taken, they're still using it in a part, and Hermes's wrist was out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I was super strong, Ray. Oh my god, I was so strong that day. It's crazy.
I know. I know. I know. I saw it. I was worried because you came in lighter, but going through that week, I was like, you have that presence, right? Where sometimes you can tell shit's about to go down.
Mm.
Sometimes with armor, like even with John, I met with John and I met with Voivod, and I was like, I feel John. I was like
Yeah,
because anything can happen, right? But sometimes you'll feel things, right?
yeah.
Confidence. People, what was the exert confidence, right? Sometimes, and when
It's
they
like an
feel,
aura. It's
yeah,
like
like
an aura.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You definitely had that on that weekend. Hermes had it all the time because he was walking around, my friend, too
yeah,
strong,
yeah,
right? But yeah, it's for him, like you said, long top rollers is a big problem.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
definitely a problem. So then right now they're talking about him and Vitaly pulling.
yeah.
That's a good match, right?
Yes, it is.
And it's
Yes, it is.
another tough one for Hermes, I think, because it's a Hermes pulled Vitaly, so he knows a little bit, but that was I don't think that was the same shape that Vitaly has been recently.
It's hard for me to place Hermes sometimes. Sorry, Vitaly sometimes too. I have Vitaly super high.
Yeah.
I think Vitaly is incredible. Sometimes he doesn't seem to perform as well as I think he should, but I always think he's capable of winning any match.
Hmm.
Any match. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's neat, Ray. Like, I mean, my weight over the years has been, I've always tried to just be as big and as strong as I can be. All the time I'm eating and I'm drinking and I'm just trying to grow, grow, grow. And over the course of the last, um, well, probably last
3 years.
half year,
Okay.
I just started to, I don't know, I'm not as concerned about my weight anymore. I'm just like, I I don't know that it's as tied to my performance as I think it is. Like, I think that me just being healthy and not worrying about it is the best thing I can do. And if I'm light, that's fine. I'm light. But if my weights are heavy and I feel healthy, I mean, that's what's going to win me the match.
It's every time when you try to get the weight up, I saw like most of the time you were concerned about eating, right? Sitting down and eating. I need to eat more. And now, last time you were just like you were focused on other things, right? And
Hmm.
Yeah, I think for everyone, there's optimal weight. Your body will tell you, right? Just feel strong.
Yeah.
If you feel weak, right, and you feel like you need to eat, you need to eat, right? That's it.
My optimal weight was about 245 to 250.
And it's the
Was.
same now. And it's 255 now.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if I get back down there.
Hmm.
And who knows? I might even get lighter. Like I'm almost 50. I'm
Yeah.
almost 50. I won't be surprised if my weight keeps coming down
Yes,
because,
yes, yes. Old and frail. Old and frail. Sure.
right?
Sure, sure.
Wait a second here.
So you called out 105 kilo champion who might not be champion anymore
Why is that?
because he will face Todd Hutchings.
Oh, right. Yeah. And I know that on paper, Todd Hutchings is supposed to win that match. Like when you look at how Todd Hutchings won and what it looked like, and I think Todd Hutchings might be the favorite.
Hmm.
Like I think Todd Hutchings has more, like when you look at the victories, more clear victories than Kurali does. I think. Am I wrong?
Yes.
But I think Kurali is going to beat him.
Hmm. Do you think the speed will be the factor?
No, I think that the technique and efficiency will be. Like I think that when they say go, I won't even be surprised if Todd Hutchings moves it on his side of the table.
Hmm.
I don't see him outlasting Kurali, and I don't see him out arm wrestling Kurali. I see the match stopping, and then I see Kurali slowly
trying to work him out, right?
Yeah, and then by the end, I think Kurali will be dominant. But look, I hope Todd Hutchings wins. I hope he does. But I think it's a long shot, and I know on paper it's not. I know if you look on paper, I think that Todd Hutchings has every reason to be the favorite, but I don't see it. I think Kurali is too sharp, too crisp, too endurant, too versatile. Just like Todd Hutchings is master in the trenches. Okay, when it
Yeah.
gets sloppy and messed up, that's Todd Hutchings wins those. And then I see Kurali is just perfect all the time. Perfect. So it's hard for if Hutchings win, it's going to be hard for me to justify a lot of things that I believe in.
Yeah, I think it's a great match because it's like both guys could win, right? Todd Hutchings in the last few years lost to Michael Todd and he lost to Prudnik. Okay, Prudnik beat him inside, right? Oh, sorry, Zuluyev, but Zuluyev real fast, didn't engage to a top roll, right? Really fast. And I think this Todd is more seasoned Todd that we see right now. Kurali, amazing. I don't see him beating Todd inside, but what he showed up with Michael Todd, he figured out how to beat the match, right? They will go back and they're very smart in Kazakhstan. They work really hard. So I think that's his main weapon will be strategy. Because with Todd, I don't think there's going to be any change in any strategy. You look at all the matches, this is exactly what he's going to do. He knows his ace and he's going to hit it all the time. And for Kurali, it will be, I think that's what you're thinking of, right? You want the smarter arm wrestler or the guy that's trying to win.
I think they're both incredible. Okay. I think that neither one of them are dummies. I think they're both super smart guys. I just think that the way it expresses on the table is you got a guy who's got a super clean fundamental style and you got a guy who's like super sloppy. Okay. I just think that this guy's gonna win. Oh, hey guys, come over do some training. My boys just showed up. They're ripping.
They're ripping. You gotta have to go and join them
in a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. The whole card is looking insanely good. Like this is the best card ever, right? But there's also John versus Sasha, right? It's not for a title. John doesn't care, and John will not cut down more than he's already cutting like 5 kilos, something like that, 10 pounds. So Sasha has all the writings about the guy that technically beats John because where we see him struggle, right? But Sasha is much smaller. And I think it's going to be, what do you think about that match? Because I think it's very hard to get over this with John, right? And John will not go in a hook. He will top rope him. I think so. He might go later, right? Because that's John. He was ready to risk everything with the Voivoda just to get that hook win.
Yeah. Tough match. Super tough match. It's going to go strap, and Sasha is going to try and bring it down, bring that match down. And, John should have some kind of hand control. But if the match stays there, it can look a lot like Todd Hutchings versus John. That's the fear. Like, I feel like there's an amount of time that John has to work with, and if that time exceeds, then, there's problems. So if John can win the match consistently in less than 10 seconds, 5 to 8 seconds, okay, good. But it's a tough guy to work through that quick for 3 rounds. It's tough. It's tough. I think it's going to be a great match. I like John in that one. I think that John he can win this one. But in no way do I discount Sasha. I think that's a super dangerous guy, and it's going strap, and Sasha's going to be forcing inside. Yeah, he's gonna try and get that shoulder engaged somehow. And if the match stops, then it's like, can John work through it? Can John solve the problem quick enough? It's got to be quick. He's got to do it. He's got to do it in like 10 seconds.
I think it's another, like, all these matches that are the main event, in my opinion. It's just like all of them are close, right? And long. I don't see, like, maybe later rounds will be quicker, but at the start it should be long. Or in maybe John's case, longer it goes. In Doug Hutchings' case, longer, right? Even in your, right? Yeah, I love it. I think
mine is, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, who it favors. It's whoever has hand control in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever gets hand control in the Denis and my match, that's the guy who's gonna probably win.
So how many single lifts do you do throughout the day?
I'm training all day.
Yeah,
all day.
Do you count, or you just I feel like lifting?
It depends. Some days I do more, some days I do less. I try to just listen to my body. If I'm right on threshold basically all the time. So I'm hurting. Okay. Like right now I'm hurting. So like if I can lift, I lift. If I need to go and hold my arm and go and cry on the couch for a while, I do that. But I'm training every day at maximum intensity. Yeah. All day. Just running singles from the first thing I do when I come downstairs is I'll hit singles. And the last thing I do before I go upstairs is I'll hit singles all day. Yeah. I live like an arm wrestling lifestyle if there ever was one.
See, my video was 100% accurate.
It is. Yeah. It's very funny. It's very funny. Yeah. Here, I'll take you over here. Look, this is really funny. I'll show you how bad it's gotten in this house. Let me see. Let me see if I can flip this. Yeah.
Hey, Jody.
Oh, hey guys. The boys are in there fighting over content right now.
Oh, you guys are training?
Yeah, we're like,
yeah. So Auden and Milo both are lifting and training now, right? So this is what we do all day. So we all have our piles, right?
Yeah.
So here on the floor here. Oh, and
Okay.
and then there's stuff in the garage.
Because we have too much weight for a home on a floor. It's going to crash.
Yeah, because we were actually worried that the floor was going to collapse here because we got too much iron in this one room. So, but yeah, we're hanging around in arm wrestling like all day long. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, Milo goes to work like a responsible person, but then he comes back and he plays with us a little bit. Yeah.
Someone has to work in that household, right?
It's just Milo. Milo's the only worker we got right now. The rest of us are I don't know what you call it.
That's why we're eating so many sardines.
Oh yeah, we're on sardine diet. Yeah.
Mercury poisoning? No.
What's that?
Mercury poisoning?
Yeah, yeah, but they're so good for you. They're so good.
Yes,
Well-
well, stem cells, get that negative effects away from you, so it should be fine.
Telling you, man, there is so much happening in that world, the stem cell world. There's so much. I can't wait to share it with everybody. But
Hey, you look so young. It's insane. You
You
like,
did
Yeah,
that too?
I
You-
know he
What do you
does.
think? Do you
Doesn't
think
he
you
does,
think I'm
right?
young?
He does.
It's true.
How did that happen, eh?
Oh,
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I'm lighter. I've cleaned up some stuff in my life a little bit, so and I've had a lot of therapies done. So yeah, I'm probably pretty healthy now compared to maybe like 6 months ago, probably a lot healthier.
okay. So if you have to put a number, how many of those single lifts do you do throughout the day?
Well, okay, so I mean, if you count all the singles,
Yeah,
like if you count those individually,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe 35,
35. Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
that's a good guess. You could go plus or minus 15
Okay.
depending on the day. Like some days, seriously, like there's some days when I'm really hurt, and actually some days it might even be lower. Like there's days that I've had when I'm really beat up and I'm like, I'll only squeeze out maybe a dozen.
Mm.
And then there's other days when I'm, I've been on a trip, like I've missed a day or something, and I'll just go crazy. I'll like be doing like maybe like 50.
So is the weight still going up? Or when you feel
Yeah.
like a little beat up down, do you take the weight down?
I mean, if I do get hurt, I will take it down, but no, everything's going up. I'll tell you right now already, okay, I am using more weight across every single lift except for one than I was before Hermes. So I do rise, roll, high cup, low cup, press, and I do grip work. Across those 6, 5 of them are already higher. And I'll say that a couple of them are significantly higher than when I pulled Hermes.
That's
Only
good.
one has still got to catch up.
Is it a cup?
No, it's my main weapon.
It's your main weapon, right?
The pronator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little bit down, but I mean, that's fine. I had it like when I pulled Hermes, it was just stupid. It's on track. Like it's on track to be better. But I have to be very careful with it. I can't blow it out. So I'm not lifting to failure. I'm never failing. So I'm keeping it kind of on a level and just kind of edging it up slowly. But yeah, I should be the strongest I've ever been and then some. Like I'm thinking a good 5% better than my best.
5% is a lot in strength.
It is.
It is a lot. It is
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you pull every day or do you pull like
Not right now. No,
Oh,
not right now. Right now, I'm doing a little bit less table time than usual. I just switch it up, but right now I'm doing like typically 2 good sessions a week and then like odds and ends. So I'll pull with Auden a little bit or Milo or
okay.
somebody will come over like a single, like a one guy or, so I'll do a little bit, but basically 2 good table sessions a week and then just strength.
Hmm. Okay. Don't forget about your arm wrestling. Don't forget about your race, right? Don't forget what
I
brought.
feel like my arm wrestling is good. I feel like I could arm wrestle more, but the thing is my individual practice has gotten very good. Like my individual ability to push myself forward has gone far. So, and I can only ask so much of my team. Twice a week is great. If I can get 2 great sessions from my team, otherwise I have to start traveling. I have to start driving to different teams, and I don't really want to do that with my time right now. I'd rather just stay at home and rest. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because the way you're lifting, right? Those are pretty much like one rep maxes and things like that. So it's your max power output, right? But you still need conditioning, right? Because that's the thing that will go. Conditioning will always kind of a little bit go away. So yeah, because I know if
saw a
you
great match with you and Craig Sanders, by the way. It just popped up on my feed.
oh yeah, that was
Great match.
that's one of my favorite matches. Yeah, yeah.
Great match.
Thank you. Yeah. Did you pull Georgi with right arm? Of course you pull, right?
No.
And we're gonna end with lies. Okay, I'm not gonna take away you. There was some super chats that I sent. I'm gonna answer later. And one is, did Hermes ask you for training advice?
Hermes and I talked about training. I volunteered some advice to him, I think. I re-emphasized the importance of rise and roll to him. You know, I think that's about all I did. Just re-emphasize the importance. Just, you know, that's how I beat him, right? I beat him with rise and roll, so I emphasized that to him. Yeah.
Is there talks about you getting on Joe Rogan? That was another question.
There were some talks about that earlier. Joe, when I met him, he said, you know, you can come on the show sometime. Just kind of have your people talk to my people.
Yeah.
I just feel like the longer it goes, actually, the better a story it'll be. So I'm not in a rush. I think
documentary, right? Are they?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we missed the best part, right? Because
right?
that was the end and the beginning.
I know, right? I know. Like I talked to Rory, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, this and now this, like,
And now this. Oh my God, it's insane. When is
and the crazy thing is I told him, I was on the phone with him and I said, listen, I said, if I beat Denis, I'm probably gonna pull Levan again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I want to kind of just thoughts, because I said I think this is the biggest match of all time, right? Because again, we waited 15 years for this, and everyone really want to see you versus Denison. And some people are like, yeah, Denis and Levan will be bigger, but only if Denis wins.
Right.
If Denis loses,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's still building. Like, I think that this match will be enormous. This is an enormous match.
Yeah.
The next match is probably even bigger.
Yeah.
For whoever it is.
Whoever it is, yeah. Because the interest, like, remember, even in 2018, it was insane, right? There in Zloty and in Poland, it was insane. There was people in audience that from different all parts of the world don't even arm wrestle, but just came to watch the show, to meet you and that, right? And that was left arm match, and that was left arm match. And this is the match that everyone wanted to see.
This is the one. This is the one. It's a big deal. It's you know, it's opposite parts of the world. It's very different cultures. He's so good. He's a legendary figure, really. I mean, I think they're going to talk about Denis for a long time after he's dead. I think it's a very good fight. I think it's a fight I can win. I do. I think it's a close match. I do think it's a close match, but I do think that I can win the match. I'm so excited. What can I say? I mean, my life is just super simplified because of it. Like, because of this match, this is it. This is what I do.
This is it.
Yeah.
Chilling, just chilling.
Yeah.
Very good. Hey, buddy, enjoy yourself. I'll see you very, very soon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's keep building. Let's keep building.
Okay, buddy.
Stay strong and love arm wrestling.
Love arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Later,
Thank
brother.
you, everyone, for watching. See you guys. Bye. Boom. How do we end?